like the journey of Frodo and the fellowship that took the ring to Mordor, or the Goonies that went on a quest to find the treasure, One-Eyed Willie, or John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale and their destiny to end up together in serendipity. Wait, what? Anyway, like those adventures, my quest for YouTube's Passengers on vinyl has finally come to a successful end. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Revolutions. I'm Rob. Welcome back if you're returning. Welcome if you're new. As I mentioned off the top, I finally have U2's Passengers on vinyl. Grail for a very long time. I have talked about it on my channel before. I did a video several years ago about my Grail records. I mentioned that in my Record Store Day video. This was one I wasn't able to track down this year. So how did I finally end up with a copy? Well, to start off with, this is the Record Store Day reissue. It's not an OG. I don't care. That's fine. The OGs are impossible to find. When they do come up, they are incredibly expensive. And it's not a record that I'm going to spend $400 on, so forget that. So I was thrilled when U2 reissued this on vinyl this past Record Store Day. You may not have heard of this because it doesn't say U2 anywhere on this. This came out in '95 after they finished Europa. They were kind of at a creative block. And it started off as U2 and Daniel Lanois just playing in the studio to try and free up the writer's block. And it actually evolved into something. This is an experimental U2 record. It's not U2 in the conventional sense. Luciano Pavarotti's on there, which is kind of neat. The idea is it's a soundtrack to a fictitious movie. Now, Miss Sarajevo did end up on an actual film. The rest of these did not. And it doesn't say U2 anywhere on here. It does on the back say Brian Eno, Bono, Adam Clayton, The Edge, and Larry Mullen Jr. That's the only reference you'll find to U2. But as a U2 completist, I've been wanting this forever. I failed miserably getting it on Record Store Day. So Keith from Attack Down Under sent me the cassette as a great joke because I loathe cassettes. I had to get the reissue. I believe there were only 3,000 of them made in the world because it's not something that a lot of fans want unless you're a diehard U2 fan. So all of my local record stores had maybe one copy and they were gone instantly. So I couldn't find this anywhere. Looked online, and yes, I can buy them on eBay, usually from the US. So with exchange and shipping, duties and all of that nonsense, well over $100. Even that's too much. So how did I end up with this? Interesting story. You probably know that I do a Wednesday night live stream. We call it Live from the Basement with my pals Joe from On AV and Racer Records and Daryl, the Northern Vinyl guy. We have a revolving cast of guests every week. And a few weeks ago, I don't know if this came up or whatever, but one of our regular viewers, Devin, hey Devin, commented that he saw this still in his local record store. And I thought, oh my God, where is it, man? I'll go get it. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I'm near Toronto. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan is that way a very long distance. The other end of the country, it's about 3,000 kilometers. I'm not going to drive and pick it up. So I thought, well, that's the end of it. But Devin so kindly offered on that live stream to go pick it up for me. Awesome. Devin and I communicated over email the following day. He went into his local record store. And big shout out to the Vinyl Exchange in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. That's where Devin found this for the great price of $60. No problem. That's what it was going for on Record Store Day. I was certainly happy to pay for that. So wonderful. I transferred Devin the money. He picked it up after work the next day. I now own it, but it's in Saskatoon, 3,000 kilometers away from where I live. You probably know my partner in crime, Joe. He's in Regina, Saskatchewan, which is a couple hours away from Saskatoon. And Joe sends me stuff fairly regularly because Joe is an employee at a record store. So I thought if we can get it from Saskatoon to Regina, we can get it here. Joe made some arrangements. He got in touch with Devin. And I guess Joe knew somebody that was making the trek up through Saskatoon and coming back to Regina. So they made arrangements, and this person that Joe knows met Devin, got the record, got it back to Joe, and Joe packaged it up and sent it to me. 3 months after Record Store Day, I got U2's Passengers at the price that it was on Record Store Day. So, thrilled to finally have this. Is it something I'm going to listen to a lot? No. But because it's U2, I want to have it. And yes, I will listen to it. But not as much as something like Rattle and Hum, Rock Tunk Baby. But I've always wanted it. I had it on CD. I've always wanted it on vinyl. Now I've got it. I don't care that it's not the original. That's irrelevant. So as I mentioned, Joe was getting a package ready to send to me because he had ordered a record for me. I'd ordered something for my wife that I couldn't find here locally. It had come out a couple years ago, but his distributor still had a single copy. So Joe brought that in for my wife, and I knew that was coming. And there was a couple other things that I bought from Joe's store. I pride myself on being sort of an ambassador of Canadian music in the vinyl community. I jokingly say I'm like the Ben Rankins of Canada because Ben does such an amazing job talking about Australian music. I try to do the same because I am passionate about Canadian music. To that end, and we have talked about this many times on my channel, one of the people that is a fixture in the pantheon of Canadian cultural awareness and Canadian music is a guy named Stomp and Tom Connors. It's hard to explain this guy to a non-Canadian. He had no interest in leaving Canada, no interest in being successful in the States. The man is a cultural icon, I think is a very, very fair way to put it. He is a country singer, very much in the vein of, I don't know. He's like a funny Johnny Cash, maybe. He's got that, sort of nasally country voice, and his guitar player is like a chicken picking kind of guitar player. This man is legendary. He is the most fiercely proud Canadian there is, and everything he sang about was Canada, and he loved this country till the day that he died. He's written some cultural touchstones, more lighthearted than, say, somebody like Gordon Lightfoot, who we're going to get to in a minute. He's got some songs that everybody knows. I mean, the hockey song. Why do you get more Canadian than that? There's another one he's famous for called Sudbury Saturday Night. There's another one called Bud the Spud, which is literally about a truck driver hauling potatoes from Prince Edward Island to Toronto. We get it. All of his songs are about something Canadian. So I have never owned any Stomp and Tom because I never found any. They're not the easiest things to come by, to be quite honest. Joe had a collection that had some Stomp and Tom records in it just recently. And I said, oh, give me this one and give me this one. So that was included in the package as well. These came out in 70s, I think. This is probably his most well-known album called Stompin' Ground. These were still in the shrink. So what did I do? Grip it and rip it, as I like to say. Took the shrink off. I want to experience the record. So I don't know that there's any giant hits on here as his hits go, but if you like one of his songs, you like all of his songs. So just good, lighthearted love of Canada. So I am so glad that I finally own some Stomp and Tom. It was almost that they were going to revoke my Canadian passport if I didn't get some Stomp and Tom. So thrilled about that. The second one I got is Stomp and Tom meets Big Joe Mufferaw. Big Joe Mufferaw. The American equivalent would be Paul Bunyan. That kind of thing, sort of a folk tale of a larger-than-life individual. It's a fun song. But everything on here is just like all his other stuff. He's called Stomp and Tom because he'd put a piece of plywood on the stage and he would thump with his foot. He would stomp that boy. He'd wear plywood out and he'd wear the heel of his boot out. But that's his signature things. Incidentally, there's also a song here called Jenny Donnelly. The Black Donnellys were in Lucan, Ontario. That's the Canadian equivalent to the Hatfields and McCoys, okay? The famous feuding families in, I think, Virginia. Google the Black Donnellys. I am distantly related to them through my one of my uncles. But yeah, so some fun Canadian lore, some fun Canadian places on here. The Coal Boat Song, Roll on Saskatchewan, Sable Island, Algoma Central. So just good foot stomping Canadian country music. Joe also threw in a couple things I wasn't expecting and didn't pay for. Joe, the other most famous Canadian folk hero singer, if you will, Gordon Lightfoot. This is called Sit Down Young Stranger. This came out in 1970. There's a cover of me and Bobby McGee. How cool is that? Ry Cooder plays bottleneck guitar on there. Randy Newman's on here. No way. Van Dyke Parks is on here. John Sebastian. I don't know. I mean, I recognize this album. Can't tell the backstory about it, but I love anything Gordon Lightfoot. I think he's our greatest folk singer. So he's our Dylan, except he can sing. And this album here, Lightfoot's The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face, which came out in 79. I don't know if I know any of the songs on this one or not, but again, it's Lightfoot. I'm going to love it. And the last one, a surprise again that I was not expecting, and thrilled to have this. This is the Good Brothers Live. If you got a gatefold, you got to show it. And that's our Wednesday night rule. That's the Good Brothers. They're two twins and then their younger brother. Country musicians that started in the 70s. The reason that I wanted this is Bruce Good had two sons who formed a band I'm massively a fan of called the Sadies. And there's his son is Dallas, who tragically passed away a couple years ago, and Travis. The Good Brothers played on the Sadies live album. I'm a big Sadies fan. They even have played with their father and uncles before. So big Sadies fan, and I've always been looking for a Good Brothers record. So thanks, Joe. I haven't seen one, so I'm thrilled that I've got this, and it's a live record. I love live records. The other thing Joe included, which was awesome, a nice little surprise in there, my favorite band, Blue Rodeo, has been honored just recently with a stamp by Canada Post. So you can go to the store to mail a letter, because, you know, people still do that, apparently. And you can get a Blue Rodeo stamp and stick it on your mail and send it away. So Joe picked up some Blue Rodeo stamps for me, which is cool because I don't have any yet. I kept saying to myself, I really should go get some one of these days. I was actually at the post office to send something to Chris Mann, and I never even dawned on me that I should pick up some Blue Rodeo stamps. But thank you, Joe. Very cool. Timing worked out perfect. Yeah. Devin, again, thank you immensely for going out of your way to pick up passengers for me. And thanks to both Joe and Devin for orchestrating the handoff through an intermediary and getting it to me. I've been looking for passengers on vinyl for over 20 years. Again, I don't care that it's a Record Store Day reissue. I just want that album. Couldn't find it here. I now have it. So, rail checked off. Before I sign off, one other thing I want to show. My good buddy, Chris Mann, the vinyl man over in Wales. Chris said he was sending me something, so I had sent him some records as well, and he unboxed them, and he's got a video on his channel. And he sent me something which is fantastic. He sent me the Stereoponics, which is his favorite band. This is Performance and Cocktails, which came out 1999. I don't know a lot about the Stereophonics yet. Obviously, I've heard of them. They're not as big here, obviously, as they are over in Wales. They are a Welsh band. I think they've been around, obviously, since at least the 90s. Chris tells me every single one of their studio albums has gone to #1, which is a pretty remarkable achievement. So Chris sent me this because he thought I would like it. And Chris, boy, do I. I've listened to this every day for the past, 4 days. And I can't put it in my stack because I keep listening to it. So you're right, man. Right up my alley. I absolutely love this. Looking to absorb it some more and then delve a little bit deeper into the Stereophonics catalog. So as I've inspired is not the right word, as I've shown Chris some music that he has since got into, I love that he's done the same to me. So This might probably get expensive for me down the road, but thank you, sir. Love it, man. This is what the vinyl community is about, right? Sharing the love. So thrilled. There you go, folks. That's everything for me. I hope you enjoyed that. I am over the moon thrilled to finally have passengers, and all this other stuff is amazing. I got lots to listen to for the next couple of weeks. So that's everything for me today, everybody. Please do me a favor and check out Joe over at On a Vinyl. If you're in the Saskatchewan area, go see his store. Also, go see the Vinyl Exchange in Saskatoon, the folks where passengers came from. And also go check out Chris, the Vinyl Man. He's got a YouTube channel. I'll leave links in the description. That's everything for me today, everybody. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.